Welcome back, everyone. Today we continue with the next part of this series called What If Goku Remember the Saiyans? Let's aim for 400 likes on this one. Also, don't forget to leave a comment letting me know if you've enjoyed the series thus far. With that, let's continue. Several minutes later, the travelers arrived at the base of the tower and saw a single teepee in front of it. A tall Indian man and his young son greeted the visitors. "I'm Bora, and this is my son, Upa. What brings you here?" Bora asked, looking wary as if expecting trouble. "We're wondering if you've had any visitors lately," Kakarot replied. "You're actually the third group to come by here in the last few days," Bora said. "The first to come was a man seeking training from the great master Korin." "Training?" Kakarot asked, his interest piqued. "Yes, one of Master Roshi's students was sent here to climb Korin Tower as part of his training. It is said that if you reach the top of the tower and drink the sacred water, you will become many times stronger. Though it may only be a myth, I don't think anyone has ever reached the top." "That must be Yamcha," Krillin said, squinting into the distance. "He's the only student Master Roshi has right now." "What about the other visitors?" Bulma asked, her curiosity piqued. "The others were men with guns," Bora replied, holding up the 4-star Dragon Ball for emphasis. "They were looking for this." "That sounds bad," Krillin murmured, his face darkening. "Yeah," Bulma agreed, her eyes scanning the surroundings. "Anyone who hires people with guns to get Dragon Balls by force isn't up to any good." Suddenly, she noticed something in the bushes. Bending down, she picked up an army hat with the red ribbon army symbol on it. "This is definitely not good," Bulma said, her voice trembling slightly. "From the looks of this hat, those men were part of the Red Ribbon Army, the most feared force on the planet. They will stop at nothing to get that Dragon Ball." "Sounds like a challenge," Kakarot said with a grin. "I say we stay here and guard the Dragon Ball and see if they send anyone strong to get it." "What about the tower?" Krillin asked, glancing up at the towering structure. "Do you really think climbing it will make someone that much stronger?" "I don't know," Kakarot admitted. "If Master Roshi sent Yamcha here, it must have some benefit." "We should climb the tower and drink the water then," Krillin suggested, his voice brimming with determination. "Then we'll be strong enough to take on whatever the Red Ribbon Army can send." "Wait," Bulma interjected, worry evident in her eyes. "What if they come while you're climbing this tower?" "All right, here's what we'll do," Kakarot said, turning to Krillin. "You climb the tower first, and I'll stay down here and guard the Dragon Ball. When you and Yamcha come back down, you two guard the Dragon Ball while I climb the tower." "Sounds like a plan," Krillin agreed with a nod. Kakarot sat meditating quietly, his mind focused and clear. It had been a week and a half since they'd arrived in the land of Korin. Bora and Upa had gone about their lives for the most part, like normal, while Kakarot had done some training. Bulma lived out of a capsule house for the most part. Krillin had started climbing Korin Tower the day they had arrived and had not yet returned. He also hadn't seen Yamcha come down from the tower either. So far, he hadn't seen any more of the soldiers that had attacked Bora for the Dragon Ball. Bulma stared out of the window, watching Kakarot meditating outside. It was kinda nice to get out away from the city for a bit. It was just like old times, searching for a Dragon Ball. Her thoughts were suddenly interrupted as a pillar with a man on it crashed into the ground outside the capsule house. The man walked up to the teepee, and Bora came out to meet him. "What do you want?" the large Indian man asked the newcomer. "I have come for the Dragon Ball you have," the man replied. He was a bit shorter than Bora, and not all that well built. He wore a pink robe with a fighting dojo symbol on the front and the words, "Kill you" on the back. "Over my dead body," Bora said, his voice firm and unyielding. "That's the idea," the man said with a smirk. "My employer specifically said to eliminate you." "Who are you?" Bora demanded. "I am Mercenary Tao," the man said, his tone chilling. "And I will be your end." "You'll have to go through me first," Kakarot declared, stepping between Bora and Mercenary Tao. "No," Bora insisted firmly. "This is my land to protect. I will fight to defend it." Kakarot quickly pressed the button on his scouter. "Let's see," he thought. "Bora's power level is 100 and this Tao guy is at 146. He turned to Bora. "You can't beat him," the young Sen said. "I have to try," Bora replied resolutely. "This is my fight, not yours." Bora charged at Mercenary Tao with his spear, aiming to stab the fighter. Tao simply grabbed the spear, not allowing it to move. "Ah, you can't move it. How about I try?" Tao picked up the spear, Bora and all, and shook them. A moment later, he sent Bora flying into the air. "I think you lost this." Tao hurled the spear at the Indian man. "I don't think so," Kakarot said from above. "What?" Tao exclaimed in shock. "How did you move so fast?" "I'm not going to let you walk all over people," the young Sen said, snapping the spear in half over his knee. He turned to Bora, who had since landed on the ground. I think I'll take over from here. I'll just have to kill you first then, Tao sneered. Doubtful, Kakarot replied confidently. You're horribly outmatched. Do you even know who I am? Tao demanded. I know that you're weaker than I am, Kakarot said calmly. I am the most feared assassin in the world, Tao said, charging at Kakarot with a flurry of kicks and punches. However, the young Sen blocked every one of them with ease. Tao backed away, panting. How can you be so strong? Not used to having someone stronger than you? Kakarot taunted. You insolent child, Tao spat. Just try and block this. Dodon Rei ha. The assassin shot a yellow beam of energy out of his fingertip, aiming right at Kakarot. Kakarot crossed his arms over his chest and braced for the assault. The beam hit the Sen head-on and exploded. No! Bora shouted, charging the assassin. You killed him. Tao blocked the punch that Bora threw at his head and delivered a deadly chop to the man's neck, ending Bora's life. Well, that takes care of that, Tao said, brushing his hands together. Now all I have to do is find the Dragon Ball. Not so fast, Kakarot said as the dust cleared from the attack. We haven't finished our fight. The young Sen looked to the side where Bora lay dead. I should have been able to stop him from dying, Kakarot thought. He turned to Tao. I won't let you kill anyone else. Try and stop me, Tao challenged. Without saying anything else, Kakarot charged forward and landed a knee in Tao's stomach, causing the assassin to double over. Not letting up for a second, Kakarot brought an elbow down on the back of Tao's skull. I'm going to finish this, Kakarot shouted, grabbing the assassin and throwing him up in the air. Me, ha, Kakarot shouted, sending a powerful blue beam of energy at his new enemy. The beam hit Tao with a resounding force, carrying him off into the distance before finally fading away. Kakarot collapsed to his knees, panting heavily. Are you okay? Bulma asked, rushing to his side. Yeah, Kakarot said, trying to catch his breath. I just overdid it a little. What if he comes back? Bulma asked, her voice filled with concern. I doubt that, Kakarot replied, shaking his head. I put everything I had into that last attack. I don't think he survived. Oh no, Bora, Bulma said, noticing the fallen warrior. She knelt beside Upa next to the Indian man. He's dead, she said softly. No, Upa wailed, tears streaming down his face. Don't worry, Bulma said, placing a comforting hand on Upa's shoulder. We'll get the other Dragon Balls and wish him back to life. Really? Upa said, his eyes wide with hope. Is that really possible? Yes, Bulma assured him. If you gather all 7 Dragon Balls, you can have anyone wish. Kakarot's eyes snapped open as his scouter beeped insistently. He quickly identified the approaching power levels. 2 power levels, 160 and 180, he mused, tapping a button on his scouter to confirm the readings. This could be tough. Hey buddy, came a familiar voice from behind him. Yamcha and Krillin landed at the base of Korin Tower, looking exhausted but determined. How'd the climb go? Kakarot asked, realizing the 2 power levels were his friends. It was great, Krillin said with a grin. I feel much stronger than before. Yeah, Yamcha agreed, stretching his arms. Me too. Did we miss anything while we were gone? Krillin asked, looking concerned. Sorry it took so long, by the way. It only took us a week and a half, Yamcha said proudly. It took Master Roshi 3 years. Kakarot nodded, ignoring Yamcha's boast and focusing on Krillin's question. An assassin from the Red Ribbon Army showed up looking for the Dragon Ball. Yamcha's eyes widened. You must have beaten him, right? Yes, Kakarot replied, his voice heavy with regret. But he killed Bora before I could defeat him. We need to gather the rest of the Dragon Balls to wish him back. Let's get to it then, Yamcha said, his determination evident. Not so fast, Krillin interjected. You know how much stronger we got from climbing the tower? Yeah, Yamcha said, nodding. Well, before we go, Krillin continued, we should wait for Kakarot to climb the tower and drink the sacred water. It'll be worth it to have us all as strong as possible if we're going to take on an entire army. Excellent idea, Bulma said, joining the conversation. Yeah, Yamcha agreed. Krillin and I can handle anyone who comes for the Dragon Ball while you're gone. After you get back, we'll go beat all those Red Ribbon guys and get the Dragon Balls. Alright then, Kakarot said. I'll try to hurry. With that, the sane boy leapt up and grabbed onto the tower, starting his climb into the sky. Kakarot groaned as he continued to climb the tower. He'd been at it for nearly 12 hours and was starting to get tired. He didn't know how much farther he had to go. Looking up, he saw what looked like the tower expanding outward. Is that the top? He wondered, climbing with renewed vigor. Reaching a small ladder, he climbed up into a small room. He had made it. Kakarot looked around but didn't see anyone. Walking over to a small staircase, he ascended to the next level where he saw a small cat-like creature holding a staff. Well, hello, the cat said. You're the 3rd visitor I've had this week. Are you after the sacred water too? Yeah, Kakarot said, nodding eagerly. I know, the cat replied with a knowing smile. I can read minds. I am Master Korin, in case you hadn't figured that out yet. So, Kakarot said, eager to get the water. Where's this sacred water that I came up here for? It's right here, Korin said, holding up a pitcher of water on the end of his staff. All you have to do is get it. Kakarot charged at the cat, reaching for the sacred water, but Korin moved out of the way so quickly that the sandboy couldn't get the bottle. You have to anticipate my movements, Korin advised. You can't just react to what I do. Kakarot closed his eyes, clearing his mind and focusing. With renewed determination, he launched himself at Korin once again. The cat moved to dodge, only to find Kakarot already behind him. Kakarot drove a knee into the cat's back, sending Korin sprawling forward. The bottle flew out of Korin's hands and into Kakarot's waiting grasp. You mean like that? The sane boy said sarcastically as he opened the jug of water and started to drink it down. Very good, Korin said, getting back to his feet. Your old master took 3 years to get the sacred water. I thought your friends down there were impressive when it took them a week, but 3 minutes is a new record. I don't really feel that much stronger, Kakarot admitted, looking puzzled. Well, you shouldn't after drinking tap water, Korin revealed with a chuckle. Tap water, Kakarot echoed, stunned. Yes, Korin explained. There is nothing special in the water. You got stronger from the act of climbing the tower and the challenge of getting the water from me. Climbing the tower increased your endurance, and retrieving the water improved your speed and focus. But I don't really feel that much stronger, Kakarot insisted. Unfortunately, you were already too strong for the training to have the full effect, Korin said. The tower wasn't much of a challenge for you, so, you're saying I wasted my time? Kakarot asked, a hint of frustration in his voice. No, Korin replied calmly. You still learned focus and got a little stronger. Besides, I have something for you that I believe will make you much stronger in the long run. What's that? Kakarot asked, intrigued. They are called senzu beans, Korin said, tossing a small bean to the young Saiyan. If you eat them, your energy will be restored instantly, and you will be healed of all injuries. That does sound useful, Kakarot said, his eyes widening in excitement. With those, I could train even harder without worrying about recovering. They do take some time to grow, Korin warned, so use them sparingly. I can give you 10 of them right now, but it may take some time to grow more. Thank, Kakarot said, eating the bean Korin had given him and pocketing the other 9 in a small pouch. Wow, he exclaimed, feeling a surge of energy. I really do feel stronger now. Krillin and Yamcha looked up, noticing a dot rapidly descending from Korin Tower. A few minutes later, Kakarot landed gracefully in front of them. Wow, Yamcha said, amazed. How'd you come down that fast? Oh, that, Kakarot said with a grin. It was easy. All I had to do was jump and use my energy to slow myself down enough so I didn't go splat on the ground. You're back already? Krillin asked, astonished. It hasn't even been a full day. Well, Kakarot said, it wasn't that difficult to be faster than Korin, so you're done? Bulma asked, stepping forward. Yes, Kakarot confirmed. You must be super strong to have climbed that far so fast, Bulma said, her eyes sparkling with admiration. Sure, Kakarot said with a smile. Turning more serious, he added, we need to go get those other Dragon Balls. Let's go then, Bulma said, encapsulating a jet copter. The last Dragon Ball is heading toward us, sir, one of the soldiers reported to Commander Red as he sat in his fortified compound. So the one who defeated Tao is coming for us, Commander Red mused. Well, when he gets here, we'll have a few surprises for him. Ensure Dr. Gero is ready for our visitors. We're getting close, Yamcha said, his hands steady on the controls of the jet copter. Alright, let's see if I can distract them, Kakarot said, taking the Dragon Ball and hopping out of the jet copter. I'll draw the fire from the defenses. You two land outside the compound and work your way inside. Bulma, you stay with the jet copter. Kakarot flew toward the compound under his own power. Missiles launched to intercept him, but the young Sen was too fast, weaving through the sky and dodging the explosions with ease. Minutes later, Kakarot landed in the middle of the compound. Soldiers rushed out, aiming their weapons, but Kakarot swiftly took them down with precise kicks and punches. Another group of soldiers approached but were swiftly taken out from behind by Krillin and Yamcha. I see you made it, Kakarot said, turning to his 2 friends with a grin. Yeah, Yamcha said, catching his breath. I don't think they even noticed us coming in. They were too focused on you. The 3 warriors continued to fight their way through the compound until they reached the command center. As they entered, they were greeted by Commander Red's smug expression. I'm impressed, he said, standing up from his desk. So, which one of you defeated Mercenary Tao? That would be me, Kakarot said, stepping forward confidently. Now hand over the Dragon Balls. Oh, I don't think so, Red sneered. You will all be begging me for mercy in the next few minutes. Kakarot tapped the button on his scouter and laughed. Your power level is only 15. You don't stand a chance against me. Oh, I know I don't, Commander Red admitted, his grin widening. But I don't intend on fighting you. After you defeated Mercenary Tao, we realized we'd need a warrior far more powerful. Unfortunately, we didn't have any warriors of such caliber, but we did have a brilliant scientist by the name of Dr. Garo. Dr. Garo had made many fighting machines for us in the past, some of which could maybe come close to Tao's level, but none of which could beat the mercenary. Commander Red's grin turned sinister as he continued. Recently, Dr. Garo has started research into a human-android hybrid. No one was willing to volunteer for his experiments though. Does this have a point? Yamcha asked, clearly bored. I'm getting there, Commander Red snapped. With your defeat of Mercenary Tao, we had the perfect volunteer. You did quite the damage to the assassin, but with the help of Dr. Garo, he will now defeat all of you for me. A small door slid open, and a figure stepped out. It had Mercenary Tao's features for the most part, but one arm was fully mechanical, and metal patches were scattered across his body. Now you will all die, Commander Red concluded. Mercenary Tao, finish off the intruders. Surprised to see me, I see, Tao said with a smirk, addressing Kakarot. You must have thought I was dead after that last attack. I nearly was, but I managed to crawl back here, where the good Dr. Garo fixed me up and added some improvements. It won't be enough, Kakarot said confidently. He hit the button on his scouter and waited, but after a few seconds, he grimaced. The scouter was getting no reading on Tao. He didn't know how that was possible, but he didn't like it. Kakarot took a fighting stance, hiding any indication that he'd been caught off guard. Behind him, Krillin and Yamcha took similar stances. Tao moved like lightning, charging at Kakarot. His fist drove into the young Saiyan's gut, doubling the boy over. Tao didn't let up, following up with an elbow to Kakarot's face, sending him flying back into a building. Wow, Yamcha thought, watching the swift attack. That guy is fast. I could barely see him move. A few seconds later, Kakarot picked himself up off the ground and wiped a trickle of blood from his mouth. Not bad, he said with a grin. You've gotten a lot stronger. This will be fun. You have no idea how outclassed you are, Tao said. Dr. Garo made many improvements when he patched me up. I'm not afraid of you, Kakarot declared as he charged at Tao, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches at the cyborg. Tao blocked or dodged every one of them and started throwing some kicks and punches of his own. Kakarot tried to dodge the blows but was unsuccessful. It was all he could do to block most of the blows to minimize the damage. How's he so strong? Kakarot thought as he continued to block punches, still clearly on the defensive. I can barely keep up with him. Kakarot's in trouble, Krillin thought as he watched the fight. I better do something. Krillin charged into the fray, adding some blows of his own, trying his best to coordinate with Kakarot's attacks. Yamcha immediately leapt in after Krillin, joining the attack against the cyborg. So it's 3-on-1, Tao said, continuing to block their attacks. That just won't do. I want to exact my revenge on the boy without interference. Tao's fist shot out, hitting Krillin hard in the face and sending him flying back. Not missing a beat, Tao kneed Yamcha in the stomach, doubling the bandit over. With the interference cleared, he continued his assault on Kakarot. Tao's fist moved like lightning, hitting Kakarot in the shoulder and sending him staggering back. Kakarot recovered quickly and punched Tao in the chin. Tao barely flinched and continued his relentless attacks on the young Sen. Now it's time to finish you off, Tao said, elbowing Kakarot away from him. Dodon Ray, he shouted, sending a beam of yellow energy at Kakarot. The beam hit Kakarot full on, unguarded. The Sen was sent flying into a building, the bricks collapsing on him. That's it for this episode, guys. If you've watched to the end, then that may be an indication that you enjoy the episode, so please drop a like so the video could reach more people. See you in the next episode. Take care.